We're having a little technical difficulties with the presentation, so just bear with us. We're just trying to get the PowerPoint up so you can see it on the monitor. So we're going to be a little delayed, but just bear with us. Thanks. While we're waiting, I have a couple of announcements you might as well take care of. This presentation ties into our day trip, which is March 23rd, and that's a trip to the Rep Theater to see the play Sherwood. Robin Hood, yes, Sherwood: The Adventures of Robin Hood, and I have one ticket left. So I've got you down. I've got you down. So there's one ticket left. The bus will come here at 1:15, pick everyone up, drop us off right at the door at the Rep. We'll see a wonderful presentation play. The bus will come pick us up and take us back, and that will be sometime between 4:30, 5 o'clock, just depending on how long the play is and traffic and all that. And the price is only $20. We got a grant to help pay for this. So you have your ticket and your transportation all for $20. I mean, you cannot beat that. So one ticket left. See me afterwards if you're interested. I have gotten money from all of you that have signed up. So if you've contacted me, I have gotten your money. And we have that, and that's on the 23rd. A couple of other things that are going on. We're having game day. Oh, do you have a question?
Where are we supposed to park the bus, down here?
Park on the lower level. And where the double doors are downstairs, we'll just meet right there. Yes? SAJE Senior Ministry. So make your check out to SAJE Senior Ministry. SAJE is with a J, SAJE Senior Ministry. And any other questions on that?
Will you take cash?
I will take cash. The only thing that I don't take is credit card because we don't have that system. We've talked about it, but we just haven't gotten around to doing that. So cash and check, yeah. I will not take your firstborn male child. So we have game day coming up, and that's on Sunday, April 6th at 1 o'clock here down in the lower level. For those of you that have been here before, we have cards, different board games, puzzles, what do you call it? Beanbag or cornhole, depending on where you grew up, what it's called. There's door prizes. I ask that you RSVP, not because I'm concerned about whether you show up or not. It's just so I have enough snacks for everybody. So we have some sweet snacks, you know, chips and stuff like that. We have, those are savory. So then we have sweet things like cookies and cupcakes and lemonade and things to drink. So you're welcome to bring friends, your grandkids. And it's just a nice way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoons are usually those slow kind of days. So they're still working on it. I apologize for that.
You can go ahead and get started, and we will be right behind you with the PowerPoint.
Oh, okay.
That's the goal.
So you want to use the microphone then? Okay, so we're going to get started here. We have Karen, Rocky, and Robin here from the Rep Theater, and they have brought all kinds of good, fun things here that they're going to show us on how to take a play from page to stage. So let's give them a big hand.
Okay, thank you. Hello, I just wanted to double check. We also have Ash here with the Rep, and they're going to be taking pictures today of our presentation. Just wanted to make sure that was okay with everybody. Nobody's on the run from the law. We're good. Okay, all right.
Good morning, everyone. I am especially excited to be here because I'm a volunteer at the Rep. Rocky is a volunteer at the Rep. those ladies back there, they're actually on the staff, but we love to come here. And this is the little point about me. My parents' home when I was in high school was brand new, Glenville Terrace off of Manda, right around the corner from this church right here. So, and I live in Concord Village, so this is my community. So when this one came up, I was like, okay, I'm going. I want to go and be in my community. My brother lives right off of Merritt Drive, right across the street almost. So, okay, that's not why we're here. We're here to learn about the rep in the theater and how it goes from what is written to on the stage. And we're really happy you're going to take advantage of coming to one of our productions. It's a fabulous, fabulous production. So while they're still working on that, I'm going to refer to my printout so I can keep us on track, okay? So how many have been to the Repertory Theater before? Fabulous. We got a couple people. It might be your first time, so that'll be exciting for you. Well, if those that have been there before know the Repertory Theater's on the campus of Webster University in Webster Groves, and it's a professional, not-for-profit theater. It's dedicated to excellence. We are very lucky in St. Louis. How many are St. Louis people long-term, like me? Okay. You know, we have a lot of theater opportunities, so we're really, really fortunate to have that. Regional theater started in the 60s, so it's been around a long time. It stayed. It's world-renowned. We're going to talk today about the rep and how everything that ends up on the stage is actually built there. They use the word built at the Repertory Theater, as opposed to other theaters like the Fox Theater, which is a beautiful venue, and they have fabulous productions there. Everything comes in on trucks, and they set up. Things are not built there, but we build everything right there, and we have all the craftsmen that are able to do that. Okay, bear with me while I turn my pages to keep me on track, okay? I do like questions as we go along. You can just pop your hand up. I'm a retired teacher, so I know what that means. If somebody needs to leave early, I get that too, so it's all good. We're really flexible. Our leaders now at the Repertory Theater, our managing director is Danny Williams, and he came in at a rough time during the pandemic, but we're thrilled to have him. He's more what you'd call the business manager, but he has theater background, so he loves everything about it. And then Kate Bernstrom, she came in last year. They're getting ready to announce the new season that she will be here for the whole new season. And Rocky's going to interject anything that I kind of forget about, okay? So she's here making sure I'm on track. But that's our administrative team that really looks at the season and then hiring the people, directing to make sure it gets up on the stage. They hire a director for each production. Kate is going to be the director for the production you're going to be seeing, so that's pretty exciting. As anybody follows the rep activity, a little side note, she has a little baby that's now 6 months old. So that's kind of neat for us to get to hear things about her, and she's made that very public. So the director, they ultimately make sure everything we're going to talk about today works to the best production we can bring to you. Rocky's going to tell you about the actors, okay? Oh, good. We're trying to remember to use the mic.
Okay, good.
Well, hi there, everybody. It is so much fun. There are many parts to any production, we know that. But there is one part that if it's not there or if it's not available, you don't have a production. And that's the actors. I mean, you can have a show without a stage, you can have a show without sets, even without costumes, but you can't have a show without actors. You could even have a show without a script if it's an improv. But anyway, so we've got actors, and we bring most of the actors for the rep they're all professionals, and most of them come from New York, except there are some they bring in regularly from St. Louis, and that's always a good thing. I can't see anything. Where are your places? Where are they? Sorry about that. Oh, hi. Okay. All right. The actors come here about a month before the show starts, and we have apartments for them, really lovely apartments, and they stay in the apartments. We have volunteers who pick them up at the airport, who take them to the grocery shopping, and I mean, and they're very well taken care of, and they really enjoy coming to St. Louis. This is not a good thing. Do we have headshots? We don't. Okay, but that's all right. Everybody who's in the show gets a photo that's about 11 by 14, I think, and that's called a headshot. And they're always gorgeous. They're not the character. They're the real person, so they're always lovely as opposed to the character with makeup and all that stuff on. They rehearse for about 3 weeks, and that's it. And there is a preview, and there's an opening night for everybody to see, set. And then after the opening night, this blows my mind. The director leaves. He spent all that time directing the show, and he's gone. It's now the stage manager's responsibility. I just honestly did not know that. I mean, you would think if you made a baby like that, you would want to stay there and see how things were going, but they have no say afterwards. Once it's done and there's a preview, that's it. I thought that was really interesting. And now, next case.
I might add about we're on. I might add about the actors. When the actors sign a contract that they're going to be coming for whatever part was identified, their measurements are taken at that time, and they also generally have to agree that they will not change their hair color, their hairstyle, because they may in fact have been cast for the part because of some of that. So you think about that, because they may be months out and then they come in. Of course, they take measurements for the costumes that we're going to show you, but that's kind of interesting. Now, one of the productions that was done a few years ago, the lead actress, it was about her having cancer, so she had lost her hair. So in that case, she shaved her head, but when she was here, the rep gave her a wig to wear. So the repertory theater really works with all the actors to try to make it work for them, not just work for what's going to be on the stage. So I think it's fun to be on the board because we get to learn all these kind of little interesting, what I call little interesting tidbits. Another thing about the garden apartments, how many are a little bit familiar with Webster, the university, Narix, and then you go down to Old Orchard? Right in between there's a low 2-story building that has apartments. And during the pandemic, the rep actually allowed other people to rent those apartments, especially if you think of people like in the medical profession that still needed to go to their job, but were concerned about bringing things home to the families. So we are utilizing those. The Opera Theater, has anyone gone to opera at that same location? They also, the actors stay there. And they love it because it's so cool. It's right there in the middle of that part of Webster. Okay. Scene designer. She's jumping ahead. She just loves this part of the costume.
Okay.
That's why we usually have up here so we can keep track. Bear with us. Scene designer. This is something that was very common in the past. It's not so common now, but we still like to bring it, meaning the scene designer would actually make this mock-up of what the stage was going to look like. And Rocky and I particularly like this because she's more so than I am into miniatures. Doll houses, we call it miniatures. So, but we wanted to bring this now, and when the set designer does this, they own it. They allowed us to keep this for said purpose of showing you. But so Rocky's going to be kind of walking around, and I hope that's not distracting for you. It's not for me. So you can kind of see some of these things a little bit closer.
Instead of this real physical set, they use computers now. It is cute, right? And this is what the set actually looked like. And this is. What show was this? Was this Private Lives?
That particular, yes, correct.
Private Lives.
I'll let Rocky show that, and then we'll get into costumes. Yes, ma'am. Okay, will you repeat your question, please? Built. Yeah, and that's interesting you would bring that up because I have my little notes here to keep me on track, and that's one of the things actually that I have down here. Anybody else see Murder on the Orient Express? It was so fabulous. Oh my gosh, it was just incredible. I was told that there were 8 crew members because it was a turntable. A turntable was put into the repertory, I'm saying repertory theater, it's really Webster University's property, but we're there kind of in a partnership because we have the students there that also do student productions in a lower space that we call a black box. If you've ever used studio, if anybody ever went to that, which was up and running this year again. We had 2 wonderful performances. But you were inquiring, it was a 2-sided that turned, it was so complex. So there's many people in the back that we just really don't even talk about during this presentation that are responsible, 8 people, for turning and making sure it works and it all runs. Do we have technical difficulties? What do you all think? Once in a while, yeah. So the magic is to make it just go on. And sometimes I was there and they had a car come out. Well, there were some technical difficulties with that, and they actually had to stop the production. So that's what we try not to have happen, but the audience, we all know things happen. So, you know, then they continue with it. We also have a lot of people backstage that are helping with the costumes that I'm going to talk about next. So while I'm talking, Rocky's going to take some of this around. And if we could have anybody help that would like to help us pass, that would be wonderful, because we've got quite a few things that we want you to see up close. So Liz, are you volunteering? Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, who knows, what is this? Corset. Anybody wear these today? Just checking. Okay, we don't either. But we show this because we want you to look at the embroidery on the corset. All the undergarments are done as professionally as the outer garments. And we were just commenting on the workmanship. We have one person in our costume shop. His name is Bob Trump. He has been there 44 years. He was an engineer by formal training and did a little bit with that and decided he didn't really want to do that. Started part-time, and he is a genius. We have a machine from Britain that's 100 years old that does embroidery. And I was in there the other day, and he was doing all of this. None of this is just buy it and paste it together. It's all hand done. And the reason we show this corset is the actors are dressed in very authentic costumes for whatever the time period is of the play. And some of that, unfortunately, you can't see all the details. We love to pass this around. But even when we do the period productions like Pride and Prejudice, the people that, if you watched any of that upstairs, downstairs, Downton Abbey, even the people that are serving the people, the women will wear the corsets. The reason is it puts them into the period and the mood. Because if you're wearing a corset, you're going to hold your body different than the way we are now, right, ladies? Yep.
Did you tell them that nobody can see it?
Yeah, nobody ever sees this.
You're right, nobody sees that. I mean, it's worn underneath.
It's like your undergarments. Nobody ever sees it, but what the rep does, they want everything to be authentic and professional, and they do a lot of research. So Liz and Rocky are going to pass around some more of the garments that were made.
And this is from what?
Most of the things that you're seeing now were from a production called House of Joy that we did down in University City a couple years ago. All of this was made in our shop. And sometimes we have a costume that maybe is on someone and they just walk through the stage. We had one production where there was also another actor with a little dog. So you know what everybody was looking at when the dog was on stage. Not this actress going through with a beautiful gown for 30 seconds, the dog. But it doesn't matter if it's 30 seconds, 30 minutes, 2 hours. Everything is done to these high standards. Let me see. Renderings. We have what we call renderings. Before I got involved with the rep, I would have called them drawings, pictures of costumes. So the costume director will make a rendering or a draw, what you and I may think of as a drawing. But when you do a drawing, do you see the back side? Do you want to pass this? Oh, sit down.
Yeah.
She's a little dizzy.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh. What? I don't know what the problem is.
Okay, come here.
Oh my.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Whoa.
Do you want some water? You want the water? Probably better to. Do you want this? I did drink of it. It's okay. Sorry. Did this get around? Rocky.
Pass this around. You continue on.
Rocky.
No, I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay. Go on.
We're always very strong women.
Yeah, if I'm not, we'll call 911. Keep going.
Okay, they're telling me to keep going. This is like the show goes on. They'll take care of Rocky. Okay, so let me try to get back into where we were. Okay. Okay, so costumes. Got that. Let me just look. Props. Okay. All right. So we got costumes. Now we're going to do makeup and wigs. Okay. I got to remember to use this. Yes, ma'am.
Do you ever take like donations from things that are old that you might be able to transform into whatever you need, whatever costume you need?
That's a really good question. So let me talk about where do we get the costumes and how does that whole thing happen? Okay, let me back up one step. We have the costume director, and sometimes people say, well, why doesn't the rep just use the costumes that, let's say, somebody else used for the similar production? Well, if you're the costume director, you want to put your own mark on it. You know, anybody in a seamstress here? Anybody like to sew? No, nobody likes to. Okay, well, you know, you like to put your little, you know, maybe it says do this, you like to do that. So generally, this is how we source costumes. If it's something like a band or soldiers that has a real distinct look to it, those are costumes that we use over because we want that certain look, okay? But if it gets into creativity more, where there's more license, what you can do, then the director comes up with it. And what led into your question, the rendering usually is just a flat, one-dimensional looking at this. So often the people that have to make these, they call it building. That's a word I always use with the grade school kids. They're going to build. They like everything is built in theater. It's not made, it's built. So they don't see the back. So they have to actually come up with this and make all this work. So we do have a costume warehouse that's down, to me it's kind of the hill area. There's a warehouse there where we do keep costumes and some things they may reduce slightly, or as I said, period things we may use, or things like that. We also have a warehouse, because I'm kind of leading into that a little bit. We have a warehouse that's down the Lump Brewery, if you know that area. There's been a lot about the warehouses down there. We have this giant warehouse. We had a big sale this year and sold a lot of the things that were in that. So we've kind of gone through and cleaned that out recently. Some of the things that are the hardest are the things that really need to look very period in a piece. Any guesses? Okay, who's got a cell phone? All of us, right? Okay, if you're doing a period piece in the 1800s, you can't have a cell phone, right? Okay, phones have to look like the period. Another item, luggage. We've all got these roller bags now. It's gotta look authentic. Makes sense, right? Okay, radios, that's another one. You know, the way a radio looks, the way a radio doesn't look, so those things. But, so back to your question, do we take donations? We have in the past. We're kind of on hold right now with the costumes because they're going through doing, you know, some inventory and some things with that. We had a little fire at the costume shop, so they're on hold for that.
Would you take an old rotary phone?
It's a possibility. I can't speak to that. At this point, it depends where the holes in the collection are. And you can jump in. Ash is on the staff there. But it's a possibility, you know, what they need. Yeah. I've got one of those too. Yeah. Okay. Did that answer your question? Kind of, right? Okay. Oh, okay. That's a possibility. Do we need to do anything here? Okay. Makeup and wigs, that's where I was going with this. The wigs are made in our shop. They are made of human hair that's purchased. Each hair is put in individually. Each hair, I want to emphasize that. Yes, and it's a gentleman that's in charge of the wig shop. So they do those, it's on a cap. Any of the ladies have had their hair done, you know, the caps that they used to use more. So they do that. They restyle the hair as they need, especially the period pieces that hairstyles have to look a certain way. The makeup is generally done by the actor. Yeah, we all think that it's all glamorous. That's not it. It's done by the actor unless there's a lot of, like a Pinocchio nose or a big scar kind of thing. Then they may have somebody help them. So, all right, makeup props. Let me show you this before. There's also a department.
I think, so what we're going to do is the paramedics are going to come in, and so if you just want to keep going until that time, we'll get through what we get through at that point, and then we'll ask you to step out. Thank you.
That's the best thing, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yay, Rocky!
We're going to be safe, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
Right.
whatever, it'll be 2 minutes or 5 or 10, and keep going until then. Thank you.
Keep going. Okay. This is these are crafts. We call it the crafts. Sorry, with the microphone. Let me do it this way. This is made at the Rep, one of our productions. Okay. Are you taking pictures? Thought she was. Okay, anybody up close? Can you see what this might be? Helmet. You win. No prize, but you win. Okay, this is for one of our children's productions, Ferdinand. So they actually figure out how to make all this work. And as I said, we have the children's productions. Okay, we also make props. What does this look like? Something some people like to eat. Pork chops. So some of the things on stage are real, some of them aren't. Okay, since we hear this coming, I'm going to kind of wind it up, I think. This, okay, is the period piece. We actually used it with a real microphone inside. So you'll see some of that. And we kind of skipped over, you see two of the costumes up here. So the paramedics can come in and do what they need to do. Liz, I'm going to give, oh, let me see. We'll welcome you when you come. Liz, do you want to say anything else?
Are you finished with?
Yeah. Okay, you got 94%.
Okay. Let's see. Why don't we do this? The paramedics are going to come in. Why don't you go on downstairs for lunch? And what are we talking about in time? We ended a little bit early, but go on downstairs.
We can go down the center aisle. That would be
Yeah. So if you go down the center aisle and just make sure that you stay out of the paramedics' way. Thank you very much. I apologize, but you all understand the reason. So